Hey, howdy, hey, internet friends and acquaintances. Welcome back to More Chaos. What I wanted to have a chat about today, which links a little bit to my previous video. I mentioned HSD and EDS, and I thought, okay, yeah, I know, I'm on a train of thought. This is the next station. So the Ehlers Danlos Society is looking to reclassify, I hope. So this is, if you're watching this from the future, this is being filmed in June 2026. Now, I'm to understand that in December of 2026, they're going to be looking at the criteria classification, whatever you want to call it, of all the different types of EDS and also HSD, which is what I've been diagnosed with, which is Hypermobility Spectrum Disorder. One of the kind of controversies, if you're Australian, you understand what I'm talking about, Rev War in there. If you're not, you've got no idea what I just said. So anyway, one of the controversies with HSD and hypermobile EDS, or hEDS as it's commonly referred to, is that they are remarkably alike. And by remarkably alike, I mean like someone just drew a mustache on the photo of someone else and called it a different person. They're basically the same. Now, there's obviously a spectrum of, well, in disability in general, but there's a spectrum of connective tissue disorders, not connectivity disorders. Connective tissue disorders, you can have, say, classical EDS, and you can be mildly affected or massively affected. The type of EDS you have is the type of EDS you have, and then the severity varies depending on whether or not you inherited it from both parents or from one, the type you have, etc. In terms of hypermobile, I'm just going to say it's short version because it saves on space and I don't trip over my words as much. The difference between hEDS and HSD is not much. The criteria was changed in 2017. A whole big consortium got together and went, yep, this makes sense, everybody right, shake. And the problem is that HSD is a diagnosis of exclusion, where it's like we've ruled everything else out. Now, the problem is that you're ruining, Freudian slip, you're ruling out Hypermobile Ehlers Danlos Syndrome with criteria that are objectively incorrect. I know I'm not a doctor, which means I'm willing to listen. No, I did a video on this before, but there's been a lot of people that have kind of discussed the criteria, and there's a really great Italian study that's absolutely scathing, as only Italians can be, God bless, and did the research and found out that the criteria does not apply as universally across people as you might imagine, and that the overlap of symptoms experienced by people with hEDS and people with HSD is remarkably similar. So the general kind of hubbub from people with HSD is like, I think you'll find most of us are in fact on that exact same struggle bus, and a lot of people in EDS want to keep EDS and HSD separate. There is this, when you see some of the things that they talk about HSD and they say, you know, it can cause widespread musculoskeletal pain and other things. And it's like, and other things? Hello? The list of things that HSD, hEDS causes like this long, and they go, and hEDS, you know, HSD might cause this. And it's like, my friend. I have almost all of the comorbidities. I have mast cell disorder. I have some degree of dysautonomia that we haven't been able to pin down. It's mostly triggered by heat and movement, which makes it very hard to test in a clinical setting. I have the Byton score, which is the hypermobility screener. I'm a 7 out of 9, which is very significant. And it's actually the Byton score that trips up most people that get eliminated from hEDS, because they have a lower Byton score and they're wanting to make the Byton test more, or sort of supersede the Byton test and test more joints. I miss out by 1 point in the second criteria, because I have, if you've had a look at the criteria, I have the Beighton score, I have the pyogenic papules, which is the little herniated fat balls in my heel, which is, again, in about 20 or 30% of the population in general anyway. I have a high dental arch and dental crowding. You probably can't tell because my parents paid for braces when I was a teenager. It was extremely painful. I had a bar across the back of my teeth to push my mouth out. It was extremely uncomfortable. But hey, at least my smile is good, right? And a bunch of other things. And one of the problems that's been tripping me up is that I believed that I had mildly hyperextensible skin, but apparently not enough and not in the right places. So just for the internet, I'm not doing all the bending and stuff because this isn't OnlyFans, but according, this is my forearm here. You're supposed to be able to stretch here. My skin isn't particularly stretchy here or on my palm, but here, look away if you're squeamish, but here, this is how far my skin, I know you can't objectively see that, excuse me. So if I'm just pinching, like that's, my husband can't do that. So it gets worse the further it gets up my arm, and the same is true for my legs. The higher up, I'll just go above my elbow. We're going above the elbow, people. Once you start getting above my elbow, it gets worse. So wherever that apparently is not considered hyperextensible skin as far as HSD, as far as EDS is concerned. The problem with a lot of these criteria is that they're subjective. So the texture of skin, like that doughy texture, this sounds really weird. I've felt people with EDS. The problem is that a lot of the people assessing it haven't, and they don't know what it feels like. And I'm like, I don't particularly have the doughy skin, but I do have mildly hyperextensible skin. But what else I have, and you can't really see it in a video, I don't think you can see it, no, I don't think so, is if you push on my skin, I don't know if you can see it in the light, if you push on my skin, it feels like, and like kind of just push your fingers around like there, it feels like I have netting under my skin. Like netting, and like you can feel that everywhere. All my arms and legs, my neck, everywhere. You can actually feel like this netting of fascia underneath my skin. That's not normal, I'm to understand. No one can tell me why that's a thing if I don't have a connective tissue disorder like EDS. There is so much not known about, well, all of the EDSs in general, but particularly HSD and hEDS, which is that covers about 80% of people with like EDS and chronic and connective tissue disorders, in the EDS kind of bracket anyway. Because the other 13 subtypes are considered rare to super rare. So hEDS is the common one. They don't know what causes it yet. And this is one of the things that makes diagnosis very difficult, is the other types are genetically, like, you take a test, yes, no, you have this. The problem with hEDS and HSD is that they don't have a genetic marker for them yet. There is a lot of theories that there could be an immunological base to hEDS, that because of the overlap of things like dysautonomia and mast cell, that there could be a lot of inflammation driving it. There's also a very big overlap of neurodivergence with hEDS and HSD, and there's also some theories about how they tie into connective tissues. And like, it's really fascinating area of research. If you want to go down a rabbit hole, cover yourself. It was a particular hyperfixation for me for about 7 or 8 months. I've read every medical journal from 2002 that mentions HSD, mast cell, or dysautonomia. It's a lot. And the worst part is that they all reference each other. So it's like reading the same one over and over again. There's not a lot of groundbreaking stuff. Yeah, I digress. I do love that Italian study though. It's savage. It's fantastic. It's so politely savage. It's just my favorite. But it's really interesting that what we don't understand is making a lot more of the directions for how people are getting treated than what we do understand. So for example, well, if it's HSD, it's not EDS. Okay, that's great. What is it? You don't have this. That's fantastic. I also don't have diphtheria or tuberculosis, but I can do that. and then my hip just clacked. I don't know if that picked it up, but my hip clicked. I can do that. That's a problem, right? I can do that. That's a problem, right? Does it matter what we're calling it? There are so many people getting left out in the figurative cold because they're not getting a diagnosis that is recognized by the medical profession in their country, or getting any kind of assistance because it doesn't qualify, because it doesn't have an official title. One of the catch-22s for getting assistance with things like HSD and hEDS here in Australia is that for disability, you have to have something that is permanent and settled. A lot of heavy lifting on the word settled, meaning that obviously it can't be undone, which, well, yeah, but it's settled, meaning that you've tried everything to fix it. The problem with things like connective tissue dynamic disabilities in general is that there is nothing that actually fixes this. I can't fix my connective tissue. It's kind of a source code problem. Like, I can't take a tablet. I've had people ask me, can you just take a collagen supplement? What? No. Regrettably, no. I could, but it won't do much other than make me more poor. I can't repair my collagen at the cellular structure. Like, I can't rewrite my genetic code with the over-the-counter tablet. More's the pity. I can't make my connective tissues work better together. I can't make my body not react to things and not perceive food as a threat. I can't make my neck stay in the same place while I sleep and then wake up with a headache. None of these things I am getting help with. The medicines that I'm taking for the mast cell type, by the way, my mast cell is still undetermined. I have an undetermined mast cell condition. That's what I'm labeling it, because I have all the symptoms, I respond to the treatments, and the tests are inconclusive. A lot of people in that boat. It's extremely frustrating. Mast cell is also a fairly new frontier of medicine. Not a lot known about it. Dr. Lawrence Afrin, I strongly recommend you check him out. And I can see a face, but I can't think of a name. Beautiful American doctor. Maitland. Can't think of her first name. Dr. Maitland. She's fantastic. They're fantastic. Their knowledge on mast cell is amazing. But they still can't say why. Like, I'm not saying them, it's not their fault. I mean, like, they can't tell us why mast cell is a thing. We don't know. We don't know what triggers it. We don't know why, I'll get there. We don't know why connective tissue fails. We don't know why this person's connective tissue fails in collagen, and then why that person's one fails in tennyson XB. We don't know why that person hasn't got really a problem with either one of those, but the way they connect is a problem. Why? We don't know. We don't know. We don't know why two parents that are completely healthy can have a child with a connective tissue disorder. And we don't know why parents with connective tissue disorders will have kids that are completely unaffected. I mean, we understand it from a genetics point of view. We all did the P's in high school with Gregor Mendel, but we don't know why something like that doesn't get passed on. Like, that's literally building blocks of how your body goes together. Why doesn't that get passed on? Who knows? We have so few answers and so many questions, but at the back of it, underneath it all, we have people that are in pain. We have people that are struggling. We have people that are disabled by their illnesses, not getting believed, not getting help. Now, when people will say, oh, what kind of help do you want? It's like, oh, I want a PS5. I want someone to, like, drive me around and feed me grapes. Dude, I want to be able to pick things up. My fingers are useless. And, like, I'm not putting myself down. I'm saying literally my fingers are useless. I have the actual measured grip strength of a toddler. The average grip strength of a person, not like I'm a person, is, I can't remember what it is. Let me look it up quickly. I turned that off. and my phone's there. I'm sure it's like 60. I'll check it and put it on the screen. I believe the like average adult grip strength is like 60, whatever it is they measure in. I've got 6 and 8. That's useless. Now, that's my grip strength. That's bad enough. But then you've got the added problem of my joints are so lax. I have dislocated my fingers pulling washing out of the washing machine. Got a front loader. Pulling washing out of the washing machine, and I've actually popped my fingers and they've just jumped the tracks. I have to pull things out of the washing machine like a little bear, like that, to try and protect my joints. I'd like help with that. And I'm not saying I want someone to do my washing. I'm saying I would like someone to help me pay for ring splints to keep my fingers from just going on holiday. Now, well, okay, ring splints, how expensive can they be? Oh, my sweet summer child. I'm in Australia. One of the few places that makes them is America, which if you've ever looked at a map is a long walk away. They are US dollars, I don't know why I said it that way, US dollars, $100 each. So 10 fingers, that's $1,000. Au contraire, mon frere, that's per joint. So there's 2 joints here. The knuckle in my hand, thank goodness, hasn't yet failed. So that's 2,000 US dollars, which is about 4,000 Australian dollars to buy rings to support my fingers to make my hands functional. I don't have $4,000. Do you have $4,000? I don't have $4,000. That's just my hands. I can't sleep. Painsomnia is a real thing. I wake up with a headache or a migraine every day. Every single day. The bones in my neck do the mambo number 5 while I'm asleep. I've got so many pillows in there, it looks like I'm like falling asleep in a mattress factory. Nothing I do stabilizes my neck while I sleep. I don't even know if I could wear a collar while I sleep, but no one's looking into it. I've been told to do like exercises where I like strain, like, you know, to strengthen the neck. It doesn't help. It doesn't help. If you've ever been to a physio when you've got an injury and they're like, okay, we're going to do this. And you're like, oh yeah, okay, I can feel where I'm supposed to go. Part of the problem people with connective tissue disorders have is that we have poor proprioception, which is understanding where your body is in space, which is also a problem that neurodivergent people have. Do you see the overlap? Now, that sounds nuts to people that don't understand it, and it sounds nuts to people that do. What do you mean you don't understand where your shoulder is? What do you mean you understand where it is? I go to do something, I don't know where my joint is. I can't feel my shoulder joint in my joint and know that it's there. I'll move and then next minute you hear this god almighty crunch because my joint was subluxated and I didn't realize, and next minute crunch. Like, how am I supposed to trust that I'm doing exercises correctly from my physio when I don't have the doctor standing right there going, as it turns out, you look like a question mark right now. And I'm like, oh, sorry. I was concentrating on this. I didn't think to realign the other 7 joint structures that had to stand correctly to make sure I did this movement correctly. That's why we need a physiotherapist. I can look on YouTube and go, okay, that's how I do that. But I need someone who knows what I'm supposed to do, standing next to me going, hang on. And that's straight. Because I will stand. You'll probably notice that I put my head off to the side. It's a bad habit now I've now developed, that if I keep my head a little bit to the side, it doesn't pinch off my neck and make my headaches worse. That's not good. It's not good. I have literally got a tilt to my head now so that I don't have head pain. This is the kind of stuff we need help with. And I think there's a lot of, at the moment too, this is a whole other tangent, but there's a lot of discussion and discourse at the moment in Australia. And I'm so very, very, very grateful that the majority of the public is on the side of people with disabilities. They want to make big cuts to the NDIS. The NDIS is very, very supportive of our eldest son, who is profoundly, profoundly disabled. And it was an extremely hard-won battle, and I'm very, very grateful for the help that they give us. The NDIS themselves are not the problem. The problem is the people that want to fund or not the NDIS. I think people have a misunderstanding of what living with a disability is like, what supporting someone with a disability is like. there will, without a doubt, there are people ripping off systems here, there, and everywhere. Of course there are. Wherever there are people and there are systems, there are people ripping them off. But the overwhelming majority, and I mean overwhelming majority of people that are trying to access disability services are doing so in good faith with the hope that they can become productive members of society. Because very, very, very few people actually want to just lie around and do nothing with their whole day. Sounds like fun on a holiday. If you get told, oh, you're going to go to the beach for a week and lie around and do nothing, sounds amazing. You're choosing to do that. You're choosing to do that. You can stop that at any time. It's also important to note out that probably during that time, you're not going to be violently ill or in pain while you're choosing to do that. No one is choosing to be disabled. It's not a fun choice. It's not someone waking up in the morning going, God, I really hope my capacity is through the floor today because I haven't disappointed anybody this week. I really want to see disappointment in someone's eyes this week because that's going to be so great for my RSD. I've got so many letters I got mixed up for a second there. I'm spicy today, and not just neurospicy, I'm spicy. I think it's because I had depression yesterday, like just yesterday. Sounds so dumb to say. I woke up profoundly depressed yesterday and I have no idea why. And no, people don't go, oh, it's hormones, I'm postmenopausal at 44, which is another fun thing. I've gone well and truly off my tangent now. And see, it's funny when I make these videos when I'm spicy and then I watch them back when I'm tired and I'm like, I exhaust me. I'm just watching me going, calm down, woman. Calm down. Would that I could, my friend. Would that I could. This is what my husband deals with like 24/7. He's pretty good. I think that's about all. I think I've ranted long enough. May not use this. We'll see how we go. Don't even know what the next video might be, but it's good to bank these rants. You never know. Might actually edit them and make them. Oops, I kicked the stand again. I do it every time. Might edit them into something you don't know. I'm squinting into the light because it's the best light, but it's starting to piss me off. That's all.